Today I'm riding in Downieville, California, and I'm at the top of the Downieville Classic sequence of trails, and I just thought I'd show you a bit of the view from this point. It's pretty spectacular alpine up here. So I've done this trail a few years ago, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a real ripper. There's some ledgy spots and a little bit of technical stuff, but it's all sweet downhill. So let's go ripper. So we're starting off on the Sunrise Trail at an elevation of 7,100 feet. And we ultimately descend down to 3,000 feet down into the town of Downieville. So I can already tell that the trail's way more eroded than when I last rode this 4 years ago. It's received a lot of traffic. And the cool thing about this trail is that it's a circuit for a bike race. I remember this section is really sweet, flowy. But the trail also gets really dusty further down. And so if you're riding in a group, I would suggest you have some goggles on if you're following some friends. So this trail is one of these classic alpine sequence of trails. In this case, it's 4,100 feet of descent with 4 or 5 separate trails all linked together. So it's kind of like the whole enchilada in Moab, where you shuttle to the top, or Palisade Plunge in Palisade, Colorado, or the Lemon Drop in Tucson, or in British Columbia, where I come from. There's Martha Creek downhill in Revelstoke. It's all one trail, but it's about a 5,000 foot descent. And in Whistler, there's the Lord of the Squirrels descent. It starts with the Intimistic climb. So if you really like these all day long alpine wilderness trails, some that you might not see anyone, the whole enchilada is really popular now. So you'll run into lots on that one, but Palisade Plunge, less so. I think that's even harder than whole enchilada, unless you're real comfortable with sandy ledges. Palisade might be a little unnerving for some, even though it's rated a black. It's a little scary for some. So yeah, the sunrise is a blue, and this is a black. There's two segments of Bucher Ranch. And then upcoming is this thing called the Waterfall. Speaking of ledgy, there's some very ledgy sections with precipitous edge, way more ledgy than what you're seeing right here. And so, speaking of ledgy trails, further up at the lower part of this sequence, a bench cuts in virtually in a cliff wall for the old railway from many years ago that ran up and down this valley here. So you might want to stay tuned to watch that segment. So here's a scenic little spot here, this mountain meadow, that's in a junction between the upper and lower Bucher Ranch segments. So here's a bit of a view, and I'm going to stop and have my lunch. So this is the waterfall section. This is a very cool canyon-y section here with the ripping flow of water down to the right. And a little further up we cross a bridge, I remember. And then there's a brief climb to regain some elevation. I guess another thing you might want to check on the bike is your brake pads, because you certainly wouldn't want to be out here with this really long decline without a good set of brake pads. Yeah, total break city in here. Hey guys, thanks. So here's a really scenic spot You're going to want to have lunch or maybe even a quick dip, cool down in the river. Thanks. Almost overshot that. Wow, look at that scenery down there. Let's have a look at that. Very scenic spot. And there's that rideable ledge there. And look at how green and luscious that water looks. I think I'm going to go for a dip real quick. The first Divide Trail is an excellent finish to this overall bucket list trail. So here's a quick cruise through the very cool little town of Downieville. Well, that's one excellent trail. If you're anywhere near the Lake Tahoe area of California, you should put this one on your list. It's got something for everyone. But I think I made one small mistake today. I took the second Divide Trail instead of the third Divide Trail, which I took 4 years ago when I last rode this trail. And the second divide is beautifully flowy, but it's alternating with these very punchy, steep technical climbs to regain a whole bunch of elevation. So it's up and down and up and down. And it's physically brutal. So I wouldn't do it again unless you're up for a big challenge. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.